Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another night of Star Force. Will this be the one? Time will tell. Daniel, hope you're having a great night. Thanks for stopping by. A for Applebee's, already getting into it. I love it. We'll see just how many fast food restaurants we can conquer this evening. One cool thing about this stream compared to the other ones is in my hand, I picked up today at a retro game swap meet I attended. Nothing major. Seems like lots of people I'm talking to this weekend, they had some sort of convention going on and they've been traveling to a retro game thing, which is awesome. The thing I attended today, not super big, but I did pick up a couple of NES manuals I didn't have. One of those being Star Force, and one thing about retro game manuals is they're typically all available on the internet. Should you do a quick search, it shouldn't be too tough to come across whatever old manual you're looking for, scanned and such. But one thing I've found with several NES manuals I've read over my NES adventure here, for games that I didn't own the physical manual of, some of the scans are really bad. Like, I guess maybe they were just like done a long time ago when scanners weren't as good, or the files degraded over time. And it can make reading some of them really, really not so fun. And Star Force was one of those. I think some of the pages even had like glitching on them. So again, maybe something happened to the file at one point. So I thought, I've spent so much time on this game, I should probably at some point just grab the manual so we can read it in all of its clear text glory. And before getting into it here, I don't think I've really talked much about the story of this game. And I had you in the Discord server guess what year you thought this game took place in, because of course it takes place in the future, right? The distant future, where we're all going to be driving around in spaceships and fighting the aliens or whatever. And you guessed, and here's the answer. So in the year 2010, this apparently happened 14 years ago, although to be fair, it says in the year 2010 of Dimension Almanac, there was a mysterious planet named Gordis, which was moving in the darkness of the cosmos for the purpose of mass murder and plunder. Everyone gave up fighting against Gordis because its awesome power. One day, a brave soldier riding a space patroller challenged Gordis to fight. People called this space patroller Final Star, wishing to be saved. You must bring an end to the murders which have been committed for the past 2,000 years. So we're dealing with some pretty serious stuff here as we fight our way through the fast food universe. Probably scanned on grandma's printer, right? Or like with a toaster or something, because I just cannot believe the horrible quality of some of those NES manuals, and it's a shame that no one's kind of done better ones over time. That means the Farmer's Almanac. We are literally fighting against the Farmer's Almanac. But okay, here we go. Farmer's Almanac's trying to take down the fast food universe, and we can't have that. So I think we've gone over enough about Star Force. Everyone knows how this game works by now, how we advance to the next level, how many levels there are, the Greek alphabet. Either you know it or you don't at this point. Okay. Let's see. So I, after the last stream last night, did not think I'd be playing this for a couple days. It was definitely, a big marathon last night. And the thing that was worst for wear after all that was my right wrist of all things. Just because of the intense pressing of the A and B buttons with my with my right index finger and middle finger. And I guess just the fact it was kind of just in the same position that whole time. It like seized up or something, but surprisingly it feels amazing now. So, a good night's sleep and all that, can do some good for you. And thus we're back here trying this again for another couple hours at least. Because we gotta beat Star Force and move on to some other NES games at some point, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having a lot of fun with this one. Because I like my shoot-em-ups, and this one is just like pure shoot-em-up all day long. It's just you versus the shapes coming at you. And there's really like no gimmick to it. When you die, it's like your fault. It doesn't feel like the controls are working against you or anything. And there's lots that you can learn to kind of help you along the way, but at the same time it's still also very difficult. And just a very long game overall. Being 24 stages you have to beat with no continue, so it's you versus the machine all the way. And just as much as the game can be tough, it's also a lot about endurance and sticking with it all the way through. Right, Daniel, right? And that's the thing, as I always mention, you know, if I'm just playing a game on my own, typically it's not just me sitting in that same seat for all those hours. Typically, you know, you get up, you'll get something to eat, get a drink, something in between. But when you're streaming, it definitely feels like, you know, I'm more tempted to kind of just sit still. And you'll forego the exercises and all that to keep the blood flowing. There's my one up. Oh. Alright, well remember, this is just the warm-up run anyway. Actually, I got the one up. So remember, there's no loss as long as I don't die again. Because the checkpoint is behind that, that one-up kind of section. So as long as I can get back and get that one up again, there'll be no actual loss. So part of the reason I definitely wanted to make sure I played again tonight is because I played Wednesday. This was like the first Star Force stream that I did. And then I played like Saturday. So that was a big gap between streams. And I feel like I lost all my kind of mojo, you know, in between that, right? When you don't play for a little bit, but it just seems like there's nothing you can do to help it. You just kind of got to get back into the groove after you don't play for a little bit. So let's do that again. So that was our kind of warm-up run right there. And I think our first run last night was one of our better ones. You know, doing it before you get too worn. I found a technique challenge you can do. Press the button on the mic levels with control. Oh, is this about Takeshi's challenge? Okay, Takeshi's challenge, you can press the A button on the mic levels with controller 2. Losing your mojo happens. Right? Like, the problem was last night's stream, by the time we finished, we were like really in the zone. But we'd been streaming for like 4 hours, and like it just wasn't happening at that point. But I have a feeling we're gonna get back into it here. And we're gonna have a good run tonight. So the first strategy we're doing is the kind of laying low one, where we let the enemies kind of do their thing, delay the next enemy formation from spawning for a little bit. Where if this doesn't work well, maybe we'll alternate between the two. We'll do the laid back strat, and then we'll switch it up with the the all out strat, and just kind of see which one's working and which one's not. You don't know about B. Yeah, what's a B restaurant? There's Burger King. It's like, that's it. No other restaurants start with B. Otherwise, today I played a little bit of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. The remake, it's been a lot of fun. Paper Mario 2, just such a good game. Paper Mario 1 and 2, always classics. I don't think I've ever made all the recipes in Thousand Year Door though, so that's something I'm doing right now to make this run different than any other Paper Mario 2 run ever. Oh wow, I didn't get that one up. It's the worst when you hit like 7 out of the 8 blocks, and I wonder like what the exact mechanics at work are there. Like, is it when it spawns on screen, it will always be the same one? Or is there always just like a random % chance that each one will be it until eventually you get it? And then obviously, if you don't get any of them, then it's, left to be the last one. And it's funny because, when you look at this game originally, it doesn't seem like there's really that much depth to it. I hope that through these streams you've kind of learned that there really is a lot going on behind the scenes here. And you can, learn those things and use them to your advantage, although sometimes using them also can work against you, too. Because it makes you play the game in weird ways you wouldn't otherwise. Like, well, letting that guy kind of do his thing. Alright, see, there's the happy face that time. So I guess we'll just take the loss of that one life. And hope for the best. There we go. You liked Superstar, Daniel. Superstar in the... Oh, do you mean like Sticker Star, maybe? Paper Mario Sticker Star. Yeah, it's a bit of a change from what we'd all expected from our Paper Mario games. Like, we all kind of thought that, okay, Super Paper Mario is going to be like a one-off thing. And we'll go back to more the traditional Paper Mario afterwards. Didn't think it would take like a good, 20 years before we saw traditional Paper Mario gameplay again. But for what it was, Sticker Star was fine. But it had its flaws. But like any game has its flaws, right? But for me personally, I definitely can't get enough of the first two Paper Marios. They are my faves. Okay, here we go. I shouldn't be wasting my energy shooting when I don't have to. It's just so much fun. I love shmups, as is no doubt clear at this point, considering how many of them we've played in recent times. It's nice that the NES, in many ways, aligns with my interests. The NES library, again, baseball being my favorite sport, just happens to have more baseball games than any other sport game. I like shmups a lot, and it has some pretty difficult ones, but I managed to get by because I enjoy them. Where if you didn't, I assume they'd be really tedious. And this victory will come. Like, I have no doubt that we'll beat Star Force eventually. Just, everything's got to align right. The moon and the stars all have to align properly. There's like a fog outside tonight, so it's kind of eerie out there. Maybe this is like the perfect omen. Should have been playing this when that, the Aurora Borealis was going by. Maybe it would have channeled some, inner NES powers or something. Some inner space powers. Space shoot-'em-up powers. What's your ideal shoot-'em-up? Do you like space ones? Do you like 1942, 1943, where it's, planes? Well, what's you got? You got Scoon, which I played, Scoon I played recently. That was like a submarine underwater, which was kind of cool. Scoon was fun. Silkworm was a really neat one because you get to choose between playing it as a Jeep with a machine gun on the back or as a helicopter. And it's like the exact same game, but you can play it with either of those two vehicles. Where with the Jeep, you're more kind of planted on the ground. And your mobility is reduced, but I feel like your range and your ability to shoot enemies is better. While with the helicopter, you obviously have better ability to dodge stuff, but I felt that it was a lot more difficult to hit the enemy. So I ultimately beat it with the Jeep. And had a lot of fun with that one. So yeah, there's just so much you can do with shmups. So many different vehicles you can strap a gun onto. Go beat up those shapes or whatever. Oh. Yeah, first time tonight really dealing with these guys. Okay, went somewhat well. So since I have the instruction manual now, we can talk about all the funky names that these guys have. Because no, it's not just, floating circle thing in the book. They actually do have proper names and descriptions. So if you want to know all about the Star Force lore, stick around, you might just get it tonight. D for Denny's, right? I was just talking today about Denny's and how there's not as many around as there used to be. There's one Denny's in my area. And I can't think of where another one is. They're just not as common anymore. Seems like other breakfast, restaurants have kind of taken over their territory. Yellow UFO Discman, exactly, right? That's what we're talking about. Squoon seems like a cool idea. Yeah, it was. So the story behind Squoon was aliens invaded Earth. Because remember, it has to be aliens. It's always aliens. It's like alien mermaids or something. And they melted the ice caps, which flooded the Earth, and then they enslaved humanity underwater. And there's one guy left who was he's an evil treasure hunter or something, evil pirate treasure hunter who was underwater in his personal submarine, when all this happened. It happened very quickly, I guess. And, you know, he's like the one guy then who's able to go save humanity. He gets like a call from the White House. He's like, yo, Captain Blackbeard guy, whatever. Save us. And he's like, why? I'm evil Wario underwater pirate ship man. Why would I help you? And he's like, I forget the reason they give. He's like, you know, if humanity's gone, then so be it or whatever. And so then he finally does it. And that's the story of Squoon, right? Like, who doesn't love playing as the evil Blackbeard pirate Wario man in a submarine? And that's the story of Squoon. So yeah, it was a cool game. Beat up those mermaids. Like, it's a very convoluted story where it's like a shmup, but, you know, why not, right? Why not? Alright, Epsilon time. Here we go. So the only mistake we've made so far is not getting that one up near the beginning. Oh, Poco Loco. Yeah, we don't have those here. I used to have a Denny's where my uncle used to live. You're not sure what happened, right? Like, just the chain seems to have gone downhill for whatever reason. A lot of restaurants. Another restaurant I liked was Steak and Shake. We never had those in Canada, really. But going down to the US, I liked going to Steak and Shake every now and then. They used to have, it was like between 2 and 4, both AM and PM. Because it even used to be a 24-hour restaurant. They would have half-price milkshakes, and they had, you know, a massive different variety of menu, like Smartie ones and Oreo ones and birthday cake ones and all the fixins. So that was like great, you know. So if you're just on the road and you want to stop in for a half-price shake, it was perfect. Or, you know, maybe you're like driving in the middle of the night or something, perfect place to stop in for a break. And then eventually, you know, they cut that back, and just Steak and Shake does not seem to be doing well anymore. I know a lot of the ones have closed down that I used to go to on my travels. Yeah, restaurant business just, you know, not what it used to be, I suppose. For reasons we could get into, but we probably won't. Oh no, oh no. Okay, I was not ready for this. Okay. That was probably like the end of it too. Oh no, I'm not ready for this. I was not ready for this. I thought that the sequence was done. At least we died right at the point where we'll be able to get our power-up back. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Gotta get back into the groove, which we lost for a second there. Which happens. Again, the worst enemies, the ones that come across at you like this, and the ones that come straight down, but shoot ridiculously. I just need to get better at dodging those two. And, you know, so far, we're just kind of getting into it. Feeling good. Z. Yeah, so no restaurant really starts with Z. Still have your Wario Land copy, Daniel. Oh, the Wario Land games are so fun. Wario Land 4. Yeah, Wario Land 4 is great. Ooh, okay. Alright, E! So, you know, we're back to E again. You can't mess around with these guys as much when you're the small ship. That's a lot riskier when you can't move as quick. But okay, so we've died twice, plus we missed a 1-up, so we really could be up to like 7 lives right now, if it not for our poor performance. But still, this is early days here in terms of the stream. We'll get better as the night goes on. These ones aren't as bad, because at least they don't shoot at you while they're aiming at you. Okay. The hill of Discmen are fast. Oh, what's this say? Thank you so much! Thank you so much for the raid! Lydia Nekozawa again! Thank you so much! I really appreciate that you enjoy my retro game streams. Hope that your stream went really well as well. Here we are fighting our way through the Greek alphabet. 24 stages with no continues. And it's just you and the shapes that you have to fight against. There's really no bells and whistles to go along with this shoot 'em up. But yeah, thanks again. Oh, okay, we got these guys. Now, normally, if you have the faster ship here, you can do a better job of clearing them all out before they become overwhelming. We're gonna try our best anyway. Yeah, okay. So, you know, the slower speed means that they have more chances to fire at you. But at least they're a little easier to dodge. There you go. Whoa, 60! Wow, thank you so much. So, rating on YouTube is so weird. It does not provide you with much information about like how many people are coming in and all that, but the fact that you again rated me and the fact so many people came over, thank you all. If you like retro games or just, you know, silly things in general, we're beating Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts here on this channel. So if you've ever wanted to see that, plus we're gonna be playing some Mario 64 ROM hacks tomorrow. And just thank you again. $93, Daniel. Daniel, look what happened here tonight. And again, thank you again. Feel free to look back through some of my past live streams as well if you want to see some particularly difficult NES clears, all your favorite games like Silver Surfer and Dragon's Lair and all sorts of crazy stuff. Ma KCC, you just joined at the craziest time where we have been rated here. And yeah. Welcome everyone. The year is 2010 and we're fighting our way through space because we all remember when this happened in 2010, I'm sure. Remember in the 80s when, like, everyone thought the future was going to be so high-tech? Hoverboards and all that. Good times. So the strat that we're doing right here is the next enemy formation does not show up until the previous one has disappeared. And the enemy formations only seem to get more difficult, so if you can delay that next formation showing up, while you use that time to destroy blocks instead. Well, we got the 1-up, which is good, because if we get sent back, it will give us a chance to get that 1-up again, assuming we don't die before getting to it this next time. But this is a tough formation right here, where the discs come at you along with, you know, other things, right? Yeah, gotta practice that a bit. But yeah, you know, it's funny because everyone talks about Silver Surfer. Wow, it's this poor playing. Being one of the more difficult NES shmups. when it was actually one of the easier ones we played out of all things considered. Even Sky Kid was more difficult than Silver Surfer. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the NES library and how maybe the things you've heard about it aren't always what they seem, feel free to stick around. Twitch raid, exactly, Ma KCC, yes. So in terms of power-ups and such in Star Force, there's no, like, better weapon. You know, if this game had, like, a three-way shot, it would change things so much. But all you get is, very occasionally, the power-up that allows you to move and shoot faster. And that's, like, very rare. Yeah, so we've got this going on. Okay. And we got the one up. And, we got sent back again, but again, because we get sent back on the map, we will continue to have chances to collect that one up. And it's not about distance traveled when it comes to clearing this shmup. It's more about how many blocks and enemies you destroy. So getting sent back in the map is actually not as punishing as it would sound otherwise. There's all sorts of weird quirks that come along with this game, and we've studied them, and we're trying our best to overcome it. But 24 stages is a lot to do without game overs, but we're gonna proceed, push on. Oh, didn't get the one up that time, even though I did survive past it. Ooh, okay. All right, boss time. IHOP for I. That's right. We're also playing a game where we name a fast food restaurant for each letter of the alphabet. Each letter of the Greek alphabet here. Alright, iota. Remember in the 2000s that the 2020s were futuristic. How people in the 80s thought the 2000s were going to be. Exactly, right? Alright, K. Who knows what K stands for in terms of the Greek alphabet? It's one that shows up in Japanese mythology a lot. Okay, this is the worst one, right? This is the one that kicks my butt every time. The slow burn mixed in with the faster enemies. Yeah, see, it's like the fast ones and then the slower ones. But that was a good attempt. That was a good warm-up attempt, because we're actually just getting started here tonight. So let's do it again. And this time we're not going to do the slow burn strategy. We're just going to defeat everything that shows up. Keep it nice and exciting. And see how that changes things, because one doesn't seem to lead to better results over the other, despite the fact you'd think it would. You're watching DGR on YouTube, David Ray. All right. So again, like most shmups, the map's the same every time. The enemy formations are the same, every single time. It's just a matter of memorizing it all and learning how to best deal with it. There we go. All right. Daniel, Dollar General Rewind. Yeah, we were talking about dollar stores in the not too distant past. In Canada, we don't have Dollar Generals. We have all sorts of other funky stuff. Do you have Dollar Tree in the US? I feel like that's probably a Canadian thing, maybe. And there's also, Dollarama's the big one up here right now. Used to have everything for a dollar store, but those somehow faded away. And like other dollar stores took its place. Like, how does one dollar store survive and not another? You figure they'd like all be the same thing. But yeah, back in the day, it'd be like you'd go to the dollar store and it'd be like 2 chocolate bars for like $1 or something. It was awesome. Now, the product that goes to the dollar store was probably, like, the defective stuff, so who knows what was in it. But, we didn't complain. Working at a candy factory at one point, like, the candy that got crushed on the line or something, it's not like it just went into the trash. No, that would go to Dairy Queen or something and get used in like a blizzard. So, it's supposed to be crushed anyway. Nothing goes to waste. Okay, beta, here we go. Family Dollar, Five Below. Yeah, we don't have Five Below in Canada, really. All right. So we're not using a rapid fire controller for this. We're just using the old-fashioned NES controller. So it's that's the big thing when it comes to shmups is you gotta, your earlier runs are gonna be the better ones before your fingers start to fall off. Now, in terms of this ship, this is how fast it shoots if you're just holding B when you have the power-up, but you can still shoot quicker if you mash A and B. So that's what I tend to do. Try not to leave any gaps. Okay. Hello, Jacob. Years ago, we had a Dollar General, and we'll continue reading that in just a second here. And a Family Dollar right close to each other, but not the Family Dollar. Well, now the Family Dollar moves somewhere else. So, going on trips through the US as a kid, Dollar General was really cool because they would have sealed Pokemon VHSs. And when we would travel, we had like one of those little tiny CRT televisions with the VCR built in. And yeah, we would like buy VHSs. you know, and watch them while we were traveling, which was really neat. And just Dollar General, yeah, for whatever reason, I guess all the overstock of Pokemon VHSs that didn't sell went to them. And yeah, we would check like a whole bunch of Dollar Generals to try and find Pokemon VHSs. And we do have like the complete, you know, Kanto set, which was accumulated mainly from checking those Dollar Generals. So after Star Force, we were talking last night about all the exciting NES games that are coming up right beyond this. You know, do you like Star Trek? Do you like Star Wars? Well, we got 2 of each of those coming. Not to mention the Marios and the Star Tropics 1 and 2. Strider. I'm excited for Stinger, although I haven't decided yet if I'm going to play Twin B first or not. Feel free to provide your input on whether you'd like to see that. Getting that 80,000 bonus points there. It doesn't help too much because we have the boss coming up anyway. Alright, 5 lives. Twin B Stinger double feature. Could do something like that, maybe. Again, you know, shmups. I don't know how demanding. Oh no, but that got rid of the power-up! That was the dumbest thing I could have done. Was cause the bonus text to appear on screen without first getting the ship power-up. I for some reason thought it would make the enemies disappear, but not the power-up. But no, that was very nonsensical. So we're doing it without the faster speed. Hooray. And it'll probably be a few levels now before the power-up comes back. We didn't need that thing anyway, right? I do like the music more though when you're not powered up, so it's not the worst thing that could have happened. Obviously, from an enemy dodging standpoint, it's not as good. Now I'll just let this guy go by. Just let him do his thing. Like I said, I accumulate some points here. So remember, to make the boss spawn, you need 250 clear points, which aren't displayed anywhere on the screen. Defeating one enemy gives you 1 clear point, while defeating blocks in the background give you 2 each. So it's actually in your interest to destroy more of the blocks than it is to worry about the enemies, which is why letting the kind of previous enemy formation, tag along for a bit gives you more chance to just defeat the blocks, which is really what you're after, to get those points up quicker. Okay. Oh! We were doing so well. And those guys always tend to come up from off screen without warning and get ya right when you least expect it. Faster speed could have been useful in that situation. I'm not counting this run out yet. So in terms of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, who's excited for more of the Terrarium of Doom, or whatever it was called? The final level before Spiral Mountain. It's not been the worst game, ever. Oh, so yeah, the power-up will be coming after this one if we can survive it. So remember, bullets are always fired at your exact position. This shmup is not smart enough to shoot where it thinks you will be like a second from now or whatever. So as long as you can account for that, you can typically dodge them pretty well, but that was just poor play. Okay. Oops. Okay. Well, we'll get the power up after the boss at least. Twin Bee 3. So yeah, I have that one on the Famicom too. I have Twin Bee, and then Stinger on the NES, and then Twin Bee 3. Which is so weird. Like, again, from what I understand, Stinger is Twin Bee 2, right? That plant level is different, isn't it, Daniel? Very strange. Very strange level. Alright, so this is where things get serious here. But thank you so much again for the raid, if you're still hanging around. And for everyone who joined and is still watching, it really means a lot. I just hope you're having a great night overall, or perhaps even morning where you are. There should be some 1-ups coming eventually, if we can survive that long. Whoa! Alright, don't die now because the boss will cause issues. Okay. Christian, good evening! Hope you're having a great night. Thanks for stopping by. It was Twin Bee 2, but some cutscenes and the credits were cut on Stinger. Oh, one of those situations where for some reason the NES version has stuff cut out of it. Fair enough. As I don't have the Famicom one of that, so it's not like we could, play that instead. Oh! And this is when, like, the speed really picks up for a second for some reason. Again, this game's difficulty curve is weird. Like, eventually, if we get far enough, everything slows down, which is really nice, before eventually picking up again. So it's kind of all over the place in terms of the difficulty curve. No, trying to dodge that guy, end up going right into another guy. And you'd think that, just shooting ahead would be enough to stop you from getting hit front on from one of those guys. But you're not so lucky, because you can easily accidentally go into them from the side, too. I'm convinced, though, that Banjo-Kazooie 3 was going to take place in the future after everything we've played of Nuts and Bolts so far. Like, so many of the levels just feel like, that's what they were getting at. Like, this is what... Because, Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 feel a lot like they're in the past, right? Like, you even have, like, Pterodactyl Land from Banjo-Tooie. You don't really have too many futuristic elements in the Banjo-Kazooie game. So I think that with the third one, maybe that kind of would have been their aim, and instead all those ideas get transferred into Nuts and Bolts instead, with all the gears around and monitors and such. Taco Bell for level T, says Daniel. There you go. Miles Luigi over on the Twitch side. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great night. You can only do so much when so many of those guys are coming at you. And again, I like dodging these guys more on the black background, too. There you go. And there's the 1-ups too. Always what happens, right? But we're getting better. We're getting better, and that's the important thing. The number one rule of shmups is just never die, because then you lose all your power-ups. And in this game, it's very noticeable because the one power-up that you can get is very significant. In it being both like a speed and a weapon power-up to a degree. Where you play a game like Gradius, and you know, you've got the guys following you, you have your faster ship, you have the lasers, you have missiles that you're shooting, and you die, and it's like you lose all of it. And so many shmups are like that, so it's like just never die when you're playing a shmup. That's the golden rule. They are very punishing games. You know, in this game, at least if you had the power-up, say it, you know, allowed you to take an extra hit or something, that would change the dynamics so much. But no such luck. Right. You think Nuts and Bolts looks whatever was in Banjo X, like they were going to have past characters in the games, etc., Daniel? Yeah, the direction that like they took with Nuts and Bolts, where every level is like the same characters but just with different roles, is very strange. I think that's the saddest part, is that I was really looking forward to more characters returning in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I thought maybe that would be something they got right. But instead it's like every freaking level is Klungo. Every freaking level is Boggy. Like Mr. Fit is like the most obscure freaking Banjo-Kazooie character, just being featured in Cloud Cuckoo Land there. You know, and I guess they figured because he's fast and cars are fast that he makes sense to include in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, but like of all the freaking characters to bring back, I don't think that was on anyone's list. But yeah, if you want to learn more about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and see it's maybe not the horrible game you've always heard it is, but perhaps still not like the greatest game. I'm certainly not gonna try and sing too many of its praises. It has its flaws as well. But yeah, Thursday nights at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when we check that game out. Alright, boss time. Wow, David Ray over on the Twitch side asking Miles Luigi. Of course, Miles Luigi was a big Paper Mario player back in the day. We all saw his TTYD run, and one of the first things I ever joined on his channel was the Super Paper Mario run. But, you know, as time goes on, things happen, of course. Just always glad that you're doing well, Miles Luigi, and thank you so much for stopping by the stream tonight. It's funny because we were talking recently, Miles Luigi, about how you played Mario 64 Star Road like a decade ago. And now I finally got my N64 flash cart. And I was contemplating playing it because I think, even though that ROM hack's fairly old, it was just released not too long ago. A version that's compatible with real hardware, which is nice. So I'm certainly considering looking into that. I remember it being a lot of fun when you played it. right. Jade! Oh, that's cool. I'm so unoriginal when it comes to naming the Yoshi. You don't want to know. Oh, boy. That's too much power to put into the hands of someone as uncreative as me. But alright, D! We're back up to Denny's again. Does anyone have any other D fast food restaurants? Kind of thing. Alright. This is it. This is it. You know, it's good. It's a good sign that we're getting better with each attempt. It's funny, we beat Silver Surfer in 90 minutes. And this game, we're on our third night here. Even Sky Kid, like, I could not believe. You figure, like, they're like right beside each other on the shelf. Silver Surfer, wow. Silver Surfer or Sky Kid, which one's going to be more difficult? You never would have believed it. Okay. Yeah, get those arrow blocks you can't shoot through unless you shoot them like 4 times, so it takes a while. And they can really mess up your strat. Like there. Oh. Yeah, okay, sure. Absolutely. Oh boy. If I could just do that every time. Five down, 19 to go. So see, when they put the blocks in the middle that you can't shoot through, that really messes you up. It's like, how are you supposed to hit the enemies when they're in the middle? Okay. Oof. Alright, and then the raining starts. And if you can, you know, react to it quickly enough, you want to hide off to the side while it's doing that, instead of playing dangerous games in the middle there. Although I ended up getting toasted in the middle from a different enemy anyway, so... I think that was our first death of the run. We will now try to minimize the damage best we can until we get the next power-up. Okay. Yeah, level 6 is usually like the furthest I can make it without a silly death in some way. If we could just overcome that hump. Alright, back to E again. For Ada, I think. Again, we're all going to be masters of the Greek alphabet by the time this one's done. Whoa. Oh, okay, this formation. So again, if we can get past this, we get a power-up. But it's easier said than done, of course. And that was probably like the end of it too. It was too. Okay, 2 deaths. 2 deaths. We should have some 1-ups coming up soon again. And now let's just keep the power up for as long as possible. Alright. At least the bosses are all the same. Watch, there'll be some like really difficult final boss that we're going to be completely unprepared for at the end of the 24th level. As mentioned, I have no idea if this game has a proper ending, or if it's just one of those, okay, you did a thing, congratulations, now just, you know, loop back to the start again. It will be funny to find out. Oh. So that enemy formation is really mean because if you're in the upper half of the screen, it will spawn from the bottom instead of the top. So that can really catch you off guard because there's not many enemies in this game that come from behind. So you're not really expecting it when it happens. Into the corner. Got me. Okay, this is when things get scary. Oh. Afflicted, thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, it's like I feel like we got to keep at this one, or else I'm gonna lose it. And you know, I want to get it done because there's so many other NES games coming up I want to play. Where I don't want Star Force to keep us stopped up too long. But I really appreciate you stopping by tonight, Afflicted. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. You said you were trying to, play along with this one last night when we were playing. And yeah, it's pretty tough. Definitely a lot of a learning curve here. Okay, now this is it. If we can get by this with a lot of our lives intact, it sets you up for the rest of the game, but like, this goes on for like a good minute. Oh, it wasn't even the worst part. It's just a matter of keeping your mind in the game for that long. Okay, we lost 1 life to that. So it could have been way worse. Thank you, I got 1 up back, so okay. Silly, silly deaths. And that means it's going to be a long time before we get the speed power up back. But I wonder if that took me back to before the 1-up. So we might actually be able to get that 1-up power up again. Alright, but it's cool that we've actually beat what's considered by me so far to be one of the most difficult parts. And if we can just keep our cool, this could be a good run. And eventually it's tough though, Afflicted, yes! You're playing with Turbo and Save Days and it still kicked your butt. It is a rough one. Okay. Please don't tell me that the 1-up's going to appear on that side. Oh, I'm dealing with that. No. No, don't die in stupid ways like that. I'm hanging it over here. Hey, it just rains for a while. That's all you get. I got the 1-up, okay. If I had just been able to do that before the silly death last time. So we're at 3 extra lives. We get a 0, so we essentially have 4 lives right now. And yeah, there's no way you can survive in the middle of that, so just camp off to the side. No shame. If I'm remembering correctly though, the enemy should slow down in a bit though and give you a little bit of a break. From what we've experienced previously. I'll just let this one disappear. There's no reason to rush more enemies onto the screen. And there's nothing going on anyway. I think we have another 1-up chance coming up though. Yes, we do. Wow, we didn't get a 1-up out of it. Because again, those question marks, one of them has a 1-up. And it's random. Okay, see, yeah, everything slows down a bit. I love it. Alright, Kappa time! I think it's our first time seeing Kappa tonight. Afflicted! Mash those buttons! Yes! Very, very good. Okay. That brings L. Who knows what L is? In the Greek alphabet. Everyone's favorite first-person shooter that never got properly concluded. Ah. I love that the screen slows down a bit because of all the sprites. It's like, yes, please, more of that. Almost at 1,000,000 points. Can we just get like to 1,000,000 points and call it a day? Who wants to actually see if there's an ending to this game or not? Once you hit that 7-digit score, that's all that matters. If I die to the world's slowest enemies, I will cry. The boss is always easy. Ironically, it's the levels that are difficult. Exactly, right? It's Lambda! Half-Life time. A million. And you don't even get anything for it. Okay, we'll get a power up back after this. And again, they don't even seem to be shooting at me this time, so I love that. Usually you get a power up back after those guys. Odd. Like, even these guys aren't shooting. It's very nice. See how once you get by that one really mean enemy formation, it gives you a break for... Oh, shoot, I wasn't even looking behind. You just get so used to looking at the top of the screen, anticipating what's next, that they throw a curveball at you by bringing this guy behind every once in a while. Seems to show up 3 times and then he's gone. Okay. Move! Here we go. Alright, I think we're halfway, right? Moo is level 12. So that means we're at 13 out of 24 every... Right in the heart. Like a dagger right in my heart. You're so ready to go, and then it just freaking throws these guys at you, but there's nothing you can do, essentially. And there goes my speed. Oh, it was beautiful while it lasted. So beautiful. And just the contrast between like the slow enemies you're dealing with, followed by extremely quick ones. It's like it's tough to wrap your mind around. Oh, right, this enemy formation. Okay. I can just kind of let them go by. And I might just do that, too. If I had the better ship with the faster shooting, I might stand a chance. Oh. Amazing. Ah. Well, that was a good run. We made it over halfway. But it still needs to be much better. Alrighty then. So here in the instruction manual, just for a laugh, we were reading it a little bit earlier. Those guys who always get me are called Falar, heavy bomber which shoots a bullet while making a straight advance. Could not have said it more elegantly myself. There's something called Big Aura. I would assume that's the boss of each level. Fortress on the surface. These are airplane sheds, control systems, power sources, and weapons, and also powder magazines. In the inner area, idols for gods and demons are deified. What an unearthly sight it is. It's like they get a lot out of just a square floating in space, but apparently that's what we're taking on here today. All right, let's keep improving upon what we were doing there. Like I said, we're going to alternate between tactics. So maybe this time we'll do like the drag-on tactic. Not, rush things. To a certain degree. We'll do like a hybrid of the two, maybe. Alright, I'm feeling like I'm back in the groove, though. Doing so good, Jacob! Right? Oh, it's amazing how fast a run can take a turn. The toughest part is still all of those, that one part with all the enemies that last like 60 seconds and they just keep coming and shooting at you. I mean, I know that sounds like the whole game, but you know what I mean. The particularly tough part that fits that bill. And if we can just get better at that, it will continue to improve our runs. And if I continue to, not make silly deaths in other ways, too. But again, I feel like there's always a warm-up period when we start playing this for the night, and I feel like we're past that now, so hopefully the upcoming runs can be good. There's the one up. So what are some of everyone's favorite shmups? I know we talked previously about the Guardian Legend on the NES. Excellent shmup, which also combines like Zelda top-down exploration action elements, which is very cool. 1943 being my favorite NES shmup. Sylphid. We keep coming back to Sylphid somehow, because there was Project Sylphid on the Xbox 360. But there was also Sylphid on many other consoles, a shmup. Not made by Square Enix. As Project Sylphid was for whatever reason. I still need to play that. But Sylphid on Sega CD is one I've always really enjoyed. There you go. Maybe someday we'll have to bust out the Sega CD and play that too. Feel free to check out my Discord server. I'm always up for recommendations of things to play. Officially licensed games, ROM hacks, all that stuff. DW, we're back at this game. Best of luck. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a process. It's a process for sure. And because of like the weird difficulty curve, that's part of what keeps me going too. Is like it's difficult, but there seems to be moments where like it gets easier, and then it gets more difficult again. So I'm just crossing my fingers that there's like a point coming where it's like, it's really, really easy again. Because, it goes easy, difficult, easy, difficult. If we can just keep getting to those easy patches, maybe we'll have a chance. Hopefully it's not like all difficult, past the point that we've made it to here. But yeah, just to kind of let this guy do his thing. Alright, so see here I can take a break for a second. I'm just holding B. That's how fast you shoot with the powered up ship when you're just holding it. But that's when I'm pressing it. So like you can see the difference. Ever so barely. My goal this run is to try and beat 6 levels without a death. I don't think we've ever done it. If we can do that, that's the sign it's going to be a really good run. I know it's asking a lot though. We're only halfway, just beating level 3 here. If only points didn't stop giving you 1-ups. Again, you get 1-ups at 50,000, 200,000, and 500,000. Like, why not a million? Make it like a 1-up for every 500,000 after that or something. But the fact that there's just like no 1-ups after a certain point. It's all about accumulating those 1-ups in the early game. Okay, I think with this one we can chase the round a bit. So we're going to do that. I want to see the World Championships of Star Force. I just want like 20 people on a stage and see who can survive the longest. So many games getting, you know, like competition series and such these days, which is cool. But where's the love for shmups? How come the you know, Nintendo World Championships NES edition coming out? It needs a shmup or two in there. It'll be no. Ooh, I almost blew that one, but thankfully that's not a big deal. But yeah, the 13 games announced at launch. It's your typical Nintendo features. It would be cool to see if we get games that like aren't first-party Nintendo titles. But I was looking into, you know, refreshing my memory on the NES Remix series, and altogether there's like 28 games featured throughout those. So it's like, you know, the NES Championship Edition thing is already going to have like less games than those would have had. But we'll see how they make up for it at some point, I guess. Laura Energy! Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching. Yeah, this is a rough one. It's a rough one. It's funny, when you talk about, when you hear people talking about the most difficult NES games, you don't usually hear Star Force come up. It's always, again, about that Silver Surfer. And, you know, as I hope we've demonstrated, Star Force is actually much more formidable, along with many of the other shmups we've played, compared to Silver Surfer. Oh. Okay. So remember, that's as high as we can go on the screen. In case it ever looks like, you know, I'm not using like the top quarter of it. There is a point where it doesn't let you go up anymore. Oh. And even if I can't get the bonus points, I guess they're still worth boss clear points. So destroy as many of those arrow blocks as you can. And there's the boss approaching. Level 5. About to be concluded. Assuming I don't make a big mistake here, where again, it's the same pattern every time. So you start at the bottom, you go up, you go down, 8 hits, and it's dead. Gradius 5 is your personal favorite, Coolzilla. Welcome. You wish they would do an HD version. Like Radiant Silvergun had. Wow, Gradius 5. I have Gradius 1 and 2 on the NES/Famicom. And then you get Life Force in there, which like isn't really a Gradius game. I guess more of a spin-off. What's cool about Life Force compared to the Gradius, though, is that you get to play co-op multiplayer. Where with Gradius 1 and 2, it's you know, taking turns. But I'd love to play more of the Gradius games. I have the third one for Super Nintendo. But I'm not too familiar with the Gradius series after that. So of course Gradius is like a horizontal shoot 'em up, left to right. You get the very occasional right to left shoot 'em up, as we saw with Sky Kid. I've always enjoyed up, you know, from bottom up, vertical shoot 'em ups more. For whatever reason, I guess just because I grew up with 1943. That was how I got used to my shmups, introduced to them. But either, you know, I'll play either way, as we've seen on this channel. And you get ones like SCAT, which are like a mix of both. I mean, you know, Silver Surfer was a mix of both as well. Always. Always on level 6. Always. Darn it. And not even just one, but two. And those are those enemies we were talking about that just have a really nasty pattern. All hope is not lost, though. I'm not going to give up on it. Boss. See? Always right before the end of level 6. If there was a consistent way to deal with that enemy, but I'm not sure what you can do. Because of the speed that they travel, you can't defeat them all before they get right in your face and you know, fire at you. Kind of back you into a corner. Coolzilla. You did put the periods. YouTube suggesting I don't show that comment, but people who've been following my channel for a couple of months now at least will understand the reference there. That is actually a name of a real NES game for some reason. What it was like Secret Cybernetic Attack Team, I think it stood for. But still, like, why? Why would you call a game that? Ooh. Alright. Still, the run comes down to not that time when those enemies are coming, but the next one. That's really unforgiving. Oh, we just hit 500,000. Okay, so that's a 1-up, which is good. Yeah, we should have some more question mark blocks coming up too, which is good. All right. Seven down. One more and we're a third of the way. Like, it's amazing how long this game is. Like, if they had just cut it back a bit, imagine the difference it would make. I mean, it could also be longer, too. We need to thank the ancient Greeks for only having 24 letters in their alphabet. And not like 50. Why they decided to do the Greek alphabet thing anyway? Who even knows? It's anyone's guess. They could have gone with like one of the Japanese syllabaries instead. Would have been like 50 levels long. Alright. See, when they're this slow, you actually have a chance to defeat them before they overwhelm you. But not when they're moving 100 miles an hour. So I think we have a one-up opportunity coming. After all these heads. Yes! Last one! Oh. Okay, we got it at least. Theta. Have we seen Pi yet? No, we have not, David Ray. Unfortunately. Colezilla, yes, I am familiar with that too. Haven't heard that in a long time though. There was like Cotton Eye Joe and all that. Remember all the hilarious internet memes before we called them memes? I think we have another one-up opportunity coming too. Right? Like, so I don't want to have this guy tag around for too long. Oops. Somewhere around here, I think. Nope. I hit that threshold at the top of the screen where I couldn't move up anymore. So that's why they got me. Like, why they have to stop you from going any higher on the screen, I don't know. So many other games will like just let you fly through the HUD. They don't care. But this one, you feel a little more confined than like necessary. I phased between those two guys. And then you could see the moment where like the game just decided that I was taking that death whether I wanted to or not. Well, that was an unfortunate series of events there. Yes. There it is. There we go. Oh, this game. You know, naturally, it's the enemy patterns that happen later on that you need to practice, but they don't, you know, you don't encounter them as much because you have to get further into the game to run into them. So it's just, it takes, you know, it just takes time. And it's naturally when they combine multiple enemies together that are the worst ones, because you get a lot of practice, you know, kind of fighting them at once at a time. But like in that case, they combined, you know, the circular guys with the other guys, and like, you know, the diamond guys with the circular guys. Okay. Is there a one-up coming again, or are we past that checkpoint? Yeah, we are past that checkpoint, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, this is the one. This is the big one, everyone. And already fumbling. It's the worst when the enemies shoot you from behind. Because, you know, it would be nice if, like, when they passed you, that was it. But they can still fire at you when they're pretty much already off screen. Got back to Kappa again. Kappa, man. Kappa. You You always found this game hard as nails, but you're making it look easy? I wish I was making it look easy. Then maybe we'd be a little bit further in. But I appreciate that, Colezilla. Thank you. Daniel, right? Gives you lots to think about in terms of just how should we deal with those guys? How should we best deal with that enemy? Because if it wasn't for those particular enemies, we'd have so many more lives going into the later stages. Like, this game does not provide you with so much as like a screen clearing bomb. Imagine the difference that would make. And like, I even have the manual at my side now, so I can confirm that it's not like I'm, missing half of the controls and there's actually a whole bunch of techniques you can do that I just didn't know about. Alright, we're back to the destroy everything in our path method. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Like I said, it seems like everyone I talked to this weekend went to some sort of video game convention or a swap meet or they're traveling around. So hopefully everyone had the chance to get out there and have some fun. Nora Inuji, Area Kappa just likes to destroy me. Unfortunately, it does seem to be how it is. Darn Kappa. Okay. Oh, that's right. This is the destruction run where I'm supposed to just grab stuff and destroy stuff without thinking too much about it. No one-up? Oh, no. To destroy all those question marks. And again, the last one to have the one-up is so sad that you don't get to. I feel like it's rigged in that way, though. Like, the game doesn't want you to get it, so it purposely makes it like a later one. But if I can get that one-up back, it won't be too much of a loss, and I will accept that. Otherwise, we will try again. Oh, great. Alright, there's the one-up. Yeah, okay, sure, I won't complain. Game handing me a bone for once. Like, I don't know. I would love to learn more about the hitbox in this game. So I feel like there's some times where it's like, you just saw right there. I fit between two bullets, and it's like I somehow didn't die. And other times I feel like I dodged better than that, but it counted against me. Maybe we'll have to look into seeing how we can figure that out. Oh, you have a good weekend, Colezilla. I mean, you got stuff done. You jammed the toe. Okay, well that's not... Maybe you broke it, but you're alright. Oh, I hope you feel better, Colezilla. The only time I can... Well, I mean, stuff happens to your toes, but the most recent one, I think, was 2021, when I was playing Crash Bandicoot 4, and it broke my toe. I was kind of lounged back on the couch, and I had this awful sort of, hassock thing that I had my foot stretched out on. And because the floor was like hardwood, it kept slipping along the floor to the point where it was just my toes that kind of ended up on it. And I don't know what exactly I did, because it didn't really register at first. It wasn't until I got into bed and just my toe was just in immense pain. And like turning purple. It's like, what did I even do? But I think because I was reaching out to this hassock thing, I somehow wrenched my toe back. And it might have even dislocated it. And just, yeah. So, and I was playing Crash Bandicoot 4 when that happened, so I've always blamed it on Crash Bandicoot 4. And it just didn't feel right for like a good year and a half. Until eventually one day it hurt really bad again. And I'm guessing that maybe if something was dislocated, it like popped back into place. And like that was the story of my crazy toe adventures. So basically take care of your toes. But alright, here we go. Otherwise, this weekend as mentioned, also had the chance to go to a video game swap meet, have some fun there. It's where I picked up the instruction manual for Star Force, which we're looking at right now. Again, I love how on the back of the Star Force instruction manual, it advertises Super Star Force, which was only ever ended up being released in the Super Famicom, or rather in the Famicom over in Japan. And we never got it here, so it's funny that they would advertise that. And it never actually ends up getting released in the West. The old Crash Bandicoot Toe classic medical mystery, right? One of those mysteries of life, I guess. But okay. So we've had some silly deaths so far, but if we can make up for them in other areas, we can make a bit of a trade-off, I guess. I'll let that one pass and grab this one. Yeah, let's just see something new. Like, I want to see something new. Say we made like a little bit of progress tonight. Delta. And that's 4 out of 24. 1/6 of the way. And this was a port of an arcade game, right? It's always weird when you have a port of an arcade game and they don't think for a second, this is a game that was made really difficult to like eat people's quarters. Maybe the console port should give you a couple of continues. But no. Like, I mean, limited continues is like one thing, like fine. But like 0 continues, that's a decision that they made when they made this game. And another interesting thing about the instruction manual is I mentioned in an earlier stream that earlier Tecmo games had a part of the manual that you could cut out, and if you sent in like 5 of them, you would get a Tecmo-themed wristwatch, which is kind of cool. And in the manual for Star Force, it lists this game, Rygar, Solomon's Key, and one other one. Tecmo. Yeah, Star Force, Rygar, Solomon's Key. What's the 4th one? It's gonna be so obvious once I see it. And Mighty Bomb Jack, of course. We streamed that game as well. No Ninja Gaiden yet, so that just shows that this game was actually released in the West before even Ninja Gaiden, but of course made by the same company, Tecmo, or published by them at the very least. I think it was mentioned that Hudson Soft actually worked on this port. All sorts of crazy shenanigans going on. It's funny when companies, different companies publish things in Japan or in the West, and everything kind of gets messed up in that regard. But okay. But yeah, it's funny that, it lists those 4 games. Meanwhile, you need 5 of the codes to get the watch, and yet 5 Tecmo games weren't even out yet. By the way, by the fact that it says the 5th game coming soon in the manual. So you just have to pray that like they didn't go out of business or something before the 5th one came out, if you actually were collecting them. The arcade game was developed by Tecmo, but the Famicom NES port was originally developed by Hudson Soft. So thank you so much for clarifying that. It's weird then that, you know, Hudson Soft isn't mentioned anywhere on the title screen unless I'm just really not looking at it close enough. Like, was it mentioned in the manual anywhere even? I don't think so. But leave it to a game published by Tecmo. It'd be pretty difficult. Like, just awful. Just awful. My inability to deal with those enemies. Oh, that's right, I want the power-up, though. Whoa. Alright, let's reset this one. Hudson made their weird spin-off of Star Force under the title Star Soldier, which hilariously comes immediately after this on the shelf. Is Star Soldier as brutal as Star Force? Because again, like, no one talks about how bad Star Force is. So it wouldn't surprise me if like the next 5 games on the shelf are all just absolutely brutal. Again, after Star Force, it goes Starship Soldier, 2 Star Trek games, Starship Hector, and then Star Tropics. Oh my gosh, we're so close to Star Tropics, yet so far. And you know, it's funny because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who would probably consider Star Tropics like a really brutal game. At least it saves after every level. Oh, Takahashi Meijin made him famous for his ability to push the button 16 times per second. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, Takahashi Meijin's Bokenjima, localized as just Adventure Island. And it's funny because you have Mylon's Secret Castle. It might only be in the Japanese version, or maybe it is in the North American version too, where if you enter like a certain button combination on the title screen, it brings up a counter for like how many times you can press the you know, the button in like a minute or something like that. Because that was his shtick, being able to press the A button really quick. Well, no one up from that one. All right. Star Soldier games on the TurboGrafx/PC Engine are great. Most NES games are, what, like really difficult? I didn't see there though if you said that you know, Star Soldier was going to be just as brutal as Star Force. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take a second break, because that's what you got to do when things just aren't clicking. And I will see you all in just a minute. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience there. We're going to get back to some more attempts of Star Force in just a second. You're playing Link to the Past, Jacob. Very cool. Very cool. LTTP never gets old. No, it does not. No, Zelda has to be one of the most replayable series out there. They're just such fun games. So many different ways to play them, too. Like, you could do a speed run. There's always randomizers for, like, every Zelda game, it seems. So, just all sorts of ways to have fun with the Zelda stuff. But yeah, cool Zilla. How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, thanks everyone for keeping it cool in the chat. You don't see the be right back on screen, David Ray? I thought I put it up there, but all right. With that all said and done, let me double check that my microphone is unmuted. It is. There we go. Let's go. Ooh. You just replayed the original Zelda on the NES Classic this week. It was very nostalgic for you, Coldzilla. Very cool. Yeah, right? Like, it's so much fun to go back and visit the Zelda games. Did you remember where all of the dungeons were? That's the question, right? When you go back and play NES Zelda after so long, especially the second quest. Did any of them kind of throw you for a loop, or were they generally still fresh in your mind there? Of course, there's like the first few, which aren't too rough to find, but some of them get pretty cryptic. Again, the second quest especially. Speaking of cryptic, we have Super Pitfall coming up. Who's excited for some Super Pitfall? We gotta just jump in random places to get items, apparently. Okay, well, that was all very lucky. But see how sometimes it looks like the bullet touches me and I don't die, and then other times I swear, you know, I'm dodging well enough, and it's, like, not counting. Oops. Where's the one-up? Oh, I just barely got it. Just barely. Had to do a little searching, but you did miss one heart container. Couldn't find it. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are hidden in just like, you know, burn this random bush sort of places. But nicely done. Someone made a Dreamcast port of Mario 64 for homebrew. Very cool. Don't tell Nintendo this, but back in the day, before I had like a modded Wii and all that, you could burn an emulator disc for your Dreamcast that would have like, you know, NES ROMs or SNES ROMs on it. And, you know, that was always pretty funny. The Dreamcast is just so exploitable because you can just pretty much burn anything and play it on it, which is kind of funny. I also saw that recent like Mario 64 maker that came out. Now, to my understanding, that doesn't actually create like ROMs that you could then play on a flash cart and such. It's kind of its own contained thing, but I could be wrong about that. Just take any break you can get from all the enemies showing up. Heck yeah, for me you did... Oh, Jacob, you did beat Zelda 2. But since I didn't finish Link to the Past, you started playing it after you beat Zelda 2. Yeah, you know me, I like to always play my games in order there. But it was the opposite for me. My first Zelda game was actually Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask. And then, I think I did Wind Waker. And then I got that disc for the GameCube that had like the 2 NES Zelda ones in it on it. And that was fun when I played those. And I think I played Link to the Past before those, along with Link's Awakening and all that. So I actually played the NES Zelda games pretty late, compared to all the other ones. It didn't stop me from really enjoying them, though. And I think that's because, I wasn't too foreign to that style of gameplay as a result of playing the Oracle games and those other 2D Zelda games. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed playing Zelda 1 and everyone's just having fun with the classic Zeldas. Don't forget about the Oracles though. The Oracle games are great. It's great that they're so accessible now thanks to the Nintendo Switch Online. They were also on the 3DS eShop prior too, but that's of course since closed down. But yeah, it looks like the NSO app's a great way to check them out now. And it was 2020 the last time I played those and transferred the passwords back and forth. There was actually a glitch that happened at one point, unfortunately, where it said I had picked up an item, because there's a ring box that you get in that game. That holds rings, and they're almost kind of like badges in Paper Mario. They'll have different effects, like you can run a little faster, you do a bit more damage or something like that. And normally you can only have one on at a time, and eventually you get boxes that are supposed to let you wear 2 and even 3 at once. And you unlock the later ones from the secret system, where you exchange secret passwords between like the versions. And even though it said, oh, you got the level 3 ring box or whatever. And then I saved, but when I checked the pause menu later on, I could only still wear 2. And I had saved, right? So, unfortunately, there was nothing I could do to try and go back and, get it again to see if it changed anything. And that was, like, actually a glitch that people had asked questions about before. For whatever reason, there's a chance that item will bug. And it won't actually increase the size of your ring box. So, forever stuck only being able to wear 2 rings at once instead of 3. What a shame. But maybe if you're lucky, they fix that in the Switch version, or if not, just be aware of such a thing, lest it happen to you as well. But okay, we died once, which is still not great. But we'll have to take it. I forget which level E we're on. This always happens. This is this Epsilon or is this Ada? I think it's only Epsilon, but maybe I'm lucky. And it's actually Ada. Looking at the score, though, I don't think we're, like, that far in. Oof. Oh, those Mario 64 Maker levels do run on original hardware? Interesting, Christian. Pullzilla. Yeah, right? It's one of those things, just like, you know, I seem to have a way of coming across glitches like that. Same with that Banjo-Kazooie Xbox 360 one that caused us all that trouble. Always soft-locking myself out of something. But yeah, I have no idea why that happens. It's so weird. And yeah, like obviously you don't expect it, right? So I went ahead and saved and whoops. It was one of those things. It's like, you know, am I crazy? Like, did I not pick up that item that I thought I did? But you know, it was a little relieving going online and seeing that other people had the same problem. But obviously, it's, you know, you wish that no one had that problem, including yourself. Just a really weird quirk. But yeah, the whole password thing in the Oracle games is so fun. If you've never experienced that whole ordeal, they're both really good games. And people ask, like, oh, you know, how come they didn't remake the Oracle ones after they did Link's Awakening? And honestly, I think they're really good games as they are. I certainly think they're still worth a play, even if they haven't received the remake treatment. Okay. So normally I die at that part, but we actually died before that part this time, so we still can't say we've beaten 6 levels without a death. As much as I would love to be able to say that. Ooh, level 6. 1/4 of the way there. After this boss. Which means half of the way to like where we usually flub up. Ooh. No. So that's how fast you shoot, if you just hold the shoot button while you have the basic shit. So mashing is essentially required if you don't have the power-up. Okay. Ooh, that would have been really bad if we had died while the boss sequence was starting. We would have essentially had to replay the level. Okay. Time's flying by, right? Yeah, we did a little bit of a later stream tonight, and again, really appreciate everyone who's sticking around. Hope you're having fun. No! Did you see that bullet? Freaking bullet that guy just shot. There's a 1-up coming somewhere, I know. I think it's the diamonds spawn, right? And it always messes me up. So if diamonds spawn, I'm just going to destroy them all as soon as possible. Okay. Oh. And there's the 1-up. Okay. So I don't have to worry about that now. I did something to throw off the timing from what it's been in the past. Oh, boss time. Okay. No, so no rapid fire. Like I said, when you have the powered up ship, you can hold B. Like, I'm gonna hold B right now, and I'll show you how fast it is if you hold it. Not yet. And then that's if I mash. Which it's more noticeable when, like, you're hitting enemies, because you can only have, like, 3 or 4 bullets on screen at once. So by mashing, you fire again quicker than if you just hold the button. But, silly death there. And we don't like that. We don't like that one bit. Oh. Like, I don't even remember this pattern being a big deal. And yet, on the last couple of runs, it's really started to wreck me good. I think this is when the 1-up's coming, right? Oh. So I need to remember that after those guys, it does the thing where it starts raining on you. And then another fast round of these. Yeah, see, I knew there was a 1-up coming, but good luck getting it while you're being shot at like that. See, it looks like it's different every time. Maybe you're confused. It is confusing. You think rapid fire is fair at this game? Honestly, I like the control that you have when you don't use rapid fire. Like, I can always shoot exactly when I want. I feel like it's easy to get complacent when you're just holding the fire button all the time. Just obviously the trade-off is that it's easy to get worn out a little quicker when you're pressing the button so much. So this is the one. This is the one that's really tricky. If only I could do that every time. Of course, it's not over yet, though. There we go. Is the one-up still coming? Yes. Right, there it is. Alright, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and keep going. The no-death run begins now. So see, holding B, mashing B. Yeah, it doesn't look much different from here. It's more noticeable when you're near the top of the screen. Holy moly. Like, is there a safe spot where you can camp in the middle and just rack up like 1,000,000 points from those guys? That might be worth investigating, but by the time you're this far into the game, you don't feel like experimenting much because every life matters. Alright, boss time. Kappa! Alright, you know, we made it to Kappa. It's always a good sign. Oh, Ma KCC Spaghetti! What is this? Hotel Mario? I wonder if there's another one-up coming up. Nope, not here anyway. No, I forgot about that formation after the square. So yeah, maybe maybe some note-taking is in order. This game is long enough that, like, you know, a reminder for like what comes after what is not completely out of the question. But we beat Kappa. We beat Kappa, which is a good sign. But we just need to get further than that. I don't get why I was able to beat Omicron that one time. And it seems like we're having trouble getting back to that. Like, what changed? What the heck changed? Why, yes, Bunny! Happy... You show up and I'm losing my voice. Happy birthday, YS Bunny! Hope you're having a great night. And Fennec, hello as well. This game sure gets a lot of re-releases. Even the GBA has 2. That was Star Soldier. That's funny because we've been talking about Star Soldier as well. And how they were both made by Hudson Soft, except this one was published by Tecmo. Well, I think Hudson Soft actually like publishes the other ones as well as makes them. Or something like that. But yeah, Star Soldier is after this. But it can't be more difficult than this, right? Right? Question mark. So of course, Star Soldier's on the Nintendo Switch Online, so you could go play that right now if you wanted to, if you had the basic membership. For some reason, I was under the misunderstanding for a while that Star Force was on the NES. And there was one day when I had finished up playing Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and I was like, you know what, just for fun, let's practice some Star Force on the Switch. And then I booted up the app, and I was shocked when I saw, oh wait, no, it's Star Soldier that's on there. But from what I remember about it, yes, it is a very similar game to this. So those of you who have been pointing that out, I've certainly not been lying in that regard. Okay. Why Star Force? Why? You made it to Lambda, Nora Inuji, yes, but we've made it further than that. We need to make it even further than that. I'm not happy with L, or M, or N. I want to see at least O. I would love to beat level P. Like, why can't we even get back to that? But Fennec, we're doing well, thank you. Hope you're having an excellent night. See, that's what happens when you don't defeat all the enemies. They gang up on you like that. There it is. Okay. Maybe you should play the Super Famicom version and see if anybody notices why it's funny? Clearly I need to look more into all this. I don't know much about the sequels to this game or Star Soldier. There's also the Caravan Shooting Collection on Super Famicom. Oh, interesting, okay. Oh, and Starship Hector as well. So, are all three of these games going to be the absolute worst? And this is only the first one then. But, you know, that's the thing about playing retro games, is I feel like what I've learned from this game will help me out with future shmups as well. But, you know, I have to beat this one first before I can even think about that. And yeah, we'll see when that ever happens, if ever. No, whoa. That doesn't usually happen. And here you go, another run. We can't beat 6 levels without a death. They're basically identical to the original Famicom releases. Kind of like, well, that's funny because if it's, I mean, but it wouldn't be related to Tecmo then. But it is funny how it kind of is similar to the Tecmo Ninja Gaiden collection on the Super Nintendo, where unlike Mario All-Stars, where they get like the 16-bit upgrade treatment, I know that the Ninja Gaiden collection on the Super Nintendo was like literally just the 8-bit games on a Super Nintendo cartridge, which is kind of funny. I know it's a pretty rare game these days, though. I do not have that one, and have not played it. But from what you're saying, it sounds similar to that. I hope you're alright, KCC. Even the Ninja Gaiden collection had enhanced graphics. Did it? I always thought it was just like 8-bit. And ear-piercing sound effects. Oh no. It's more like Wrecking Crew in Wrecking Crew 98. Remember that? But I'll have to look into that then. Thank you, Wise Bunny. You were also teaching me all about Legend of the River King the other day and how there was GBA releases of that. Had no idea over in Japan. Love learning about Japanese exclusives. Best I can do is give a bunch of random facts about Famicom, Famicom sequels to NES games that never got localized here, like Super Star Force. All right. Yeah, right, Fennec? It's actually available right now on the Nintendo Switch Online. Did you have to have the Super Famicom app, I forget, or did we play it on the North American app as well? But it was only available for those the white Super Famicom flash carts you could get and have games loaded onto them from a machine. That was the only way to get Super Wrecking Crew 98 back in the day. Weird game for sure. As we experienced. No bonus points from all that, though. See what we got. You haven't had Switch Online in a long time. You have PS Plus though, Ma KCC. Yeah, I mean there's ups and downs to each of these services. And looks awesome, Fennec. So there was one stream where we tried to play the multiplayer mode, and it was weird. But otherwise, yeah, it was an interesting game. Well, I like how that one shot there activated the boss. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Epsilon, level 5. Done. 19 to go. I hear you, Jacob. I hear you. The part I like is that it lets us play Mario Party together, but otherwise, I hear you. Like, you can do it a little bit, but that enemy formation always drags on so long, and I died right at the last part, too. Okay. What? Ah. Wait, this game has almost 30 levels. Oh, Coolzilla. Yeah, it has 24 stages. And you know, our range varies depending on how close we can get. We've had good nights, we've had bad nights here. But the important thing is that we're learning, but it's another thing to, you know, put all the pieces together and hopefully get a winning run soon. Of course, Monday night we're going to be playing some Mario 64 ROM hacks, and everyone's been looking forward to those. Maybe we'll be back with more Star Force on Tuesday, assuming we don't beat it right now. We'll see. It's like every day is Star Force Day. Heck, maybe we should just cancel Mario 64 Day and make it Star Force Day as well. No breaks on the Star Force train. Ah. But maybe it'll be good too. Maybe, you know, tomorrow night we'll play some Mario. It'll be good to free our mind of Star Force for a day. And we'll come back fresh on Tuesday or something like that again. Best thing you can do is join the Discord server. Stay up to date on what I'm thinking in regards to streams and all that. Try to keep a schedule there, but its accuracy varies. But, you know, always feel free to, you know, ask what's going on. I typically get back and always happy to answer questions and such. But let's see what we got here. Like, this is a interesting enemy set, which we managed to get through somehow. And that takes us to a boss. So I've been very conflicted, Christian, what to do in that regard, because it's Mario Monday, right? But I obviously really want to play some Banjo-Kazooie ROM hacks as well. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, is Banjo Mario-ish enough that I just play Banjo on Mario Monday and, like, no one complains? I was really hoping to play that one ROM hack. Like, it was like Banjo in Mario 64, or was it the other way around? It was like Mario 64 in Banjo-Kazooie, yeah, something like that. But unfortunately, it did not work on real hardware. But yeah, we'll have to have a talk about that. I think I'll mainly be playing Mario 64 tomorrow, because it's the first night with the N64 flash cart. But going forward from there, I'm not against also playing some Banjo 64 ROM hacks, because obviously, you know, I've put an interest in that as well. And I'm really afraid of all of the Mario 64 ROM hacks that are going to require, like, Kaizo level abilities. where my Super Mario World abilities are really up there, but obviously, you know, I've 100%ed Mario 64 several times, but do I have what it takes to be like, you'll do some of the stuff that they probably ask in like the top tier ROM hacks? Probably not, but it will be a good learning experience anyway. Yeah, how I just dodged all that, do not ask. Ooh. Alright. Well, you know, 3 lives. 2 plus 0. Going into these levels here. We'll see what we can do. Mario is Banjo's brother. Luigi's just adopted Christian. Yes. Banjo ROM hacks sound great, Fennec. And we'll just see, whoever the first person is to point out that Banjo isn't Mario will just be banned. We'll pretend that their complaint doesn't exist. Something like that. Ban, right? Everybody banned. But no, I'm really excited to play some N64 ROM hacks, finally. And yeah, it'll be really cool to share that with you all, and hope you have a good time tomorrow night. And at some point, we'll get back to Star Force. Alright, boss. You're supposed to beat this tonight, Andrew! Do not plan ahead! I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. Colezilla, give it the Andrew special. Oh, okay, this is the one. This is the one that kicks your butt. Usually we don't have the faster speed at this, though, which is interesting. I was getting too ambitious trying to go the whole screen, and I should have just stayed in my half like I have devised. But no, I saw that coming right for me. Tried to escape it, but was not fast enough. Okay, ugh, 1 life left. No, I didn't even see that because it blended in with the gray background. No. Like, it's close. We're so close to kind of a breakthrough. I can feel it. I can feel it. Next stop is fun and adventure, says Fennec. Banjo Rom. Oh, yes, that's before the Banjo Rom hacks sound great part. And I agree, they do sound great. I think we'll stick to Mario tomorrow just to kind of warm up. And then we'll see where Banjo takes us. Because, yeah, it's just like with Mario World ROM hacks. They didn't always used to be made with real console compatibility in mind. So, unfortunately, I'm finding a few that don't seem to want to work with the ROM hack. And, you know, you could emulate them, but that defeats the purpose of getting the flash cart. You know, maybe someday, obviously, but I'd like to stick to stuff we can play on the console right now. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder if I wore like a glove, like, you know, the N64 palm glove. I've mentioned this before, the NES D-pad is like really hard plastic. And the way that it has the sharp edges and then like the indents on it, it's kind of like a cheese grater. It just grinds you down. Because it's not the button mashing. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a bit slower since the stream began. That's going to be inevitable. But the worst part is definitely the D-pad. And the pain that brings about, making your movements more difficult. Reminds me of the mutant virus was probably one of the times that my thumb hurt the most after beating an NES game. The mutant virus is one of the most brutal games out there, and you will not hear most people talk about it. It's very obscure. It's about a guy who goes inside the computer to delete a virus from within, because for some reason I guess they hadn't invented like antivirus software by that point. And there's a computer that's infected is of course like the computer that runs the whole world or whatever. So it's very important that that virus gets deleted. And yeah, the only way to do it is by this guy going in there. And it's very nerve-wracking. Nice part about that game is it has infinite continues after each level. The bad part is that the game itself is just ridiculous. I don't even know how to explain the mutant virus to you without you, like, seeing it. There it is. Now, one of the one-ups. Yeah, we missed the one earlier. Getting past the first two levels in this game is a major achievement in your book, Coldzilla. I'd appreciate that. I'm trying. I really want to beat this for everyone. And then we can play different stuff, like more shoot-em-ups in space, because apparently there's more of those coming up. Like, I knew that, you know, obviously there's going to be repeated genres when you get to the letter S in the NES, because it's like 100 games. But I was not expecting so many shoot-em-ups. And like, I consider myself decent at shoot-em-ups, and this one's still kicking my butt. I'm excited though, after beating this, to like go back and play 1943 someday, and just never die, because that game has to be like way easier than this. Even with the boss rush at the end and everything. Oh god, I hope this game doesn't have a boss rush. But then there haven't really been any bosses, so I guess we'll be fine. Like, you can hardly call those things at the end of each stage a boss. So So Tron, Fennec. Yeah, I mean, kind of, except the game is nothing like Tron. Is there a specific ROM hack that's going to be played tomorrow? Or tune in to find out? Oh, I don't think I updated the schedule specifically. But if you look at the Mario ROM hack channel on the Discord, there were some we were talking about that I have already loaded onto the flashcard and tested. And I might still add a couple more on before tomorrow. Because the problem with Mario World ROM hacks, I really don't know how long they're going to last. At least with the Mario World stuff. Sorry, I mean with the Mario 64 ones. At least with Mario World, you know, it's listed how many exits they have, so I can kind of get a gauge for how long I feel like that's going to take. I think there might be some sites that when you download your Mario 64 ROM hack, list how many stars there are. And that's helpful naturally, but I feel like that's still a little more difficult to use as a gauge for how long it will take versus exits in Mario World, so I'm just going to load it up with a bunch of ROM hacks, and it might end up being a really short stream, it might end up being a really long stream. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Oh, but man, you know, now I'm just thinking about the thumbstick on the 64 controller. I'm not thinking we can be pretty rough on your thumb as well. That hard plastic with the grooves in it that's like supposed to stop your thumb from slipping. But I think the GameCube did a much better job of that with its thumbstick. I've mentioned before, I'm not impressed with the Xbox 360 thumbstick because the rubber just seems to wear down so easily on that one. Where like I have GameCube controllers I've used for years and years, and you hardly notice any wear on them. But I guess they just cheaped out on the 360 rubber, and it's very soft or something. Already did Gunnack. You love that game, yeah. We've talked a bit about Gunnack too, because it's also compile, right? Guardian Legend and Gunnack are both compile, and you can feel similarities in the shmup sections between the two. But that was a fun game, yes. One of the more expensive shmups on the NES these days, for sure. So in Japan, and actually PAL region as well, there's a shmup called Over Horizon. I believe made by the company Hot B, who also made such classics as the Black Bass and the Blue Marlin and Palamedes, I think, as well. But I wonder what that one's like. I don't get why they didn't localize that one here. I guess if I ever got that, I'd try to get the Famicom version because it would probably run, you know, 60 instead of 50 like the PAL games do. Although you get the odd PAL game that, you know, runs it at 60 frames like, you know, NTSC anyway. It's a whole weird debacle. But yeah, I've always wondered if that one was any good. And of course there's like Rekka on the Famicom. I have Crisis Force, which is like a late release Famicom shmup, which looks pretty cool. I played a bit of it. Not got too far. Also have Gradius 2, which I need to play more of, which was a Famicom exclusive. But okay, there was some really interesting dodging there. Basically, there's a lot of shmups on the NES and Famicom, way more than you might have thought. And then there's Action 52, which is like half shmups, but most of them don't end properly. Yeah, Hammer and Hair, exactly why it's funny. I actually have the Famicom version of that now. So even though, you know, the NES version would be a plausible thing, I have the Famicom version instead. Maybe we'll play that someday. Whoa! The GameCube thumbstick is great with the ridges. You wish more thumbsticks had that feature. Yeah, the GameCube thumbstick's always been really cool. You think you can get GameCube thumbsticks for the N64? Yeah! I know are some funky things you can do if you disassemble your controller there. A video popped up in my recommendeds not too long ago about how, you know, speedrunners are always on the search for like a good N64 thumbstick, because with the amount that they play, they just like shred the plastic, is the way that it's built. So, you know, people have tried to come up with, like, solutions that don't degrade over time, and, you know, the other ups and their downs. Interesting dilemma for sure. I still have my OG N64 blue controller that I used so much back in the day for Mario Party and all those games, which are just so bad for it. And that's what we'll be using tomorrow, so we'll see if the floppy thumbstick messes us up at all. Any deaths that happen will definitely be blamed on it, but no, like, it could be worse. I've seen thumbsticks that are even worse than it, so... Like, just how rough were they on it to get it that bad? Speaking of games that run at 50 Hz, it's cool that Power Strike 2 in a LES collection actually runs at the proper frame rate instead of just being run at 60. People have had the issue... Weird Wise Bunny. Like I said, we need to play more Master System someday. We need to play a lot of stuff. I guess if we played Master System, I'd probably try to use the power base converter on the Genesis so that we could get... you know, better video quality than trying to play it off a Master System. I don't even think the Master System 2 has, like, anything other than RF output. Ah. I was not ready for this formation. Okay. Now, unless I'm understanding incorrectly, I think that's our first time beating level Z, like up to level Z without a death. I think we've now beat 6 levels without dying. My only crime is that I missed a 1-up at the very beginning. So we could be at 7 lives instead of 6. So unfortunately it kind of works out the same as if we had died, but I guess that means I'm getting better somewhat, question mark? Well, I'll have to look more into that then, Wise Bunny. Fenix says they look pretty cool. Feel free to share them on the Discord server as well. Always appreciate you introducing us to new games on there. Fine, if you want a good N64 controller, you have to find one that wasn't used with Mario Party. That's the killer, right? Yes, Mario Party. And then it's funny because, you know, Christian alluded us to the fact that there was a signpost in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts where the Canary Mary races were originally designed with the plan to be that you would rotate the stick Mario Party style to make the vehicles go and race against her. Thank goodness they changed it to the A and B buttons. And for anyone who wants an easy way to beat Canary Mary, check my YouTube shorts. No! Don't die in such a bad way like that. That's awful. Or, of course, the stream where we face her, which was my final part of my Banjo-Tooie 100% playthrough. It's just because they just come out of nowhere and like you're not expecting it, so it's so easy to accidentally run into the side of them. Because they're so fast. Oh, lost time. Just don't get killed by this guy? Okay. Ugh. Level 7. I think. We almost beat 7 levels without a death. Almost. The last collection is at $50 and it's only on Switch and PS4, but it also includes GGLS3. No. Like, you're just not expecting that to be like the first thing that you encounter after a boss. Well, it was a good run for a little bit there. I mean, it still has potential, but we have to not make any more dumb mistakes. So there's a 1-up coming. Alright, we got it. Hey, I'm sure one of those bullets passed through me. Like, just how broken is the hitbox in this game? Like, I'm curious if your hitbox lags behind you a little bit, because sometimes I feel like a bullet hits, like, behind me where I'm not, and it counts as a death. I'm curious if there's, like, a hitbox glitch that would become evident. I know there's, like, a Lewis script thing you can do in, like, the FCEUX emulator. Like, maybe I need to put my big brain on and figure out how that works, and there's probably a whole iceberg we could go down. More so than, like, we've already done. In regards to the crazy stuff going on in this game. No, my 1-ups! Ah. That's, and then I always forget about this. These guys just shoot at you at like light speed. Oh! Oh. I never used to have trouble with this part, so I'm not sure what changed. You know, you get good at one thing, it's like SpongeBob, you know, you remember breathing and being a waiter or whatever, and you forgot the rest of it. So like, I've been practicing one part so hard. I don't get why this part's throwing me for such a loop. I got the 1-up, so okay, I died, but I'll have a chance to get that 1-up again, because the checkpoint is behind those question marks. So as long as I can keep getting that, I'm okay. Got the 1-up back. Okay, boss. And it's Kappa after this, right? Alright, Kappa time. I should start every level hiding off to the side in case the first enemy formation is that raining one. Okay. Yeah, this is the worst formation of them all. Like, it always lets up and makes you think that you're almost at the end of it, and then a whole bunch more come. Nope. Like, accidentally missing one. And you're just done. Alright. That's probably it. Hopefully we've learned something here tonight, and next time I play, we'll be able to put the pieces together. But I feel like that's probably the end of our Star Force adventures here. Ugh! Annoying. Very annoying. But we'll get it. We'll get it soon, I know. But thanks everyone for joining tonight. Wow, what a funky stream that was. Ended up being about 3 hours of Star Force on Sunday night here, and I'm sure we'll play it again soon. Again, tomorrow night we'll be playing some Mario 64 ROM hacks, so I hope everyone's looking forward to that. And yeah, see you all again. Have a great rest of your night, and I hope you have a great week coming up. Yeah, thank you, Christian. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Colezilla, Ma KCC, Wise Bunny, and Fennec over on the Twitch side. And to everyone who joined from that raid and who's still stuck around, again, we're going to be doing more retro stuff coming up, as well as all sorts of fun things, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on Thursday, so don't miss that. It's been a real crazy game so far. But yeah, have a great week, have a great night, everyone, and hope you have a great week. Take care.